Friday. I'm Dr. Darrell Wolf. Welcome to the Dr. Detox Show. I've got Justin on the line
Recording in
here.
progress.
I've got Justin on the line here, and Justin's going to be talking to me today about the emotional chemistry of advanced water fasting. Take it away, Justin. I'm all yours.
The first question is, how safe is it for people given to do water fasting when there's such toxicity in the food supply and even the water supply and air supply?
Okay, so that's a really good question, and that's kind of a loaded question. Do you mind if I take two parts of this thing?
Sure,
The
sure.
first thing that I teach when I teach people how to become whole life coaches or non-surgical practitioners is that when you deal with a person, Justin, and this is what practitioners do not do, you look at the condition they're in first, not the condition they have. The condition they have is not as going to be as dangerous as the condition they're in. Now, what I'm telling you is, Justin, your personality is made up of your belief systems, but they're not your belief systems. They're the belief systems that you got from the time you entered the womb until you were 7. You had no filters. Everything that came in, whether it was a lie, whether it was the truth, whether it was based on love, fear, hate, anger, or joy, it didn't matter. You took it in your brain. So it's really not a fair game. But here's the deal. That actually sets a person up for how they're going to emotionally and physically live their life for the rest of their life, unless they can go in and deprogram and brainwash themselves. Now, when people come to me, I brainwash them. You go anywhere, you're being brainwashed. The reality is I need to tell you this first before we go into this, because if I don't, then you won't understand it. The brain is 90% subconscious. 10% is conscious mind. The 90% is just a big storage shed for beliefs. Now, what if you actually came to a planet from 0 to 7 and you had no choice, but every damn belief that came out, I mean, it didn't matter if it was real, unreal, if it was based on fear or it was based on courage, you just took it in. That's what goes on, that's science. So the reality is that you might think it's not fair, but that's what it is. So now, when I look at you, I'm going to look at, are you a victim? Are you the hero of your story? Are you oversensitive? I'm sensitive. I'm sensitive to all foods. I'm sensitive. I'm sensitive to light. I'm sensitive to this, to this, to this. All beliefs make up your symptoms. They make up your diseases, because beliefs are either going to bring you into alignment or they're going to take you out of alignment. And most people are out of alignment. You already know that. Most people are always on the edge. They're always on the edge. You know how you can tell where your emotional stability lies, your emotional health lies? The next time, Justin, that there's chaos in your family and someone just passed on, or someone just had a heart attack, or somebody was diagnosed from cancer, let's see if you can keep a slight smile inwardly for yourself. Let's see if you don't go into the suffering process. Because when you suffer for someone, you help them suffer even more. So the reality is what kind of belief systems run your life will depend on how and what we would do with you. Some people, you can only do intermittent fasting at the first time, which is intermittent fasting is just going from 11 to 12 o'clock without eating. And the way you do intermittent fasting is really going to be very important, Justin. Do not do intermittent fasting with just water. You got to do intermittent fasting with structured water, and you got to do intermittent fasting with what? Warm water to hot water, because you got to open things up. It's all about expansion. Our whole life is about constriction, isn't it? Come on, look at when you get older, you're stiff as a board. And that's because your mind was stiff as a board, because you don't realize it, but your subconscious doesn't care if your beliefs are going to empower you or disempower you. Your subconscious says, I'm not going to change. Everybody wants change. Everybody wants health, wealth. Okay, everybody wants great relationships, but they don't know that the subconscious will do anything it can to stop change. It goes, oh my God, what is this unconditional love? What is this fasting thing? You had 3 meals a day and 3 snacks a day. Now you're going to go and fast? Oh my God, we could die. Your subconscious is only as intelligent as your beliefs, Justin. And that's why some people look pretty dumb and they do dumb things, but they're not dumb. There's genius in all of us, but we've been given dumb beliefs. Welcome to the family curse. So here, there's the first thing, okay? The next thing that we're going to look at is but first it's the ability of a person. I can get a person coming to me and they're 100 pounds overweight. And if they're 100 pounds overweight, that's 100 pounds of inflammation and infection. And when they walk in, I can tell within seconds, or when they're on the phone, I can tell within a minute or two, okay? I can feel them out. I can tell how far I can take them. And then some people will want to go really fast and furious and just blow up because they don't know it, but they're undermining their own health, their own wealth, their own life. And then some people will go so slow because they have too many fear programs. Now, I'm going to say this is not a marketing pitch. This is why everybody that comes to us, we tell them to get a perfect day consult. They pay $150 for lifetime support, Justin. That means that they can call as often as they want. Because understand, whether you want to eat right, think right, drink right, live right, it doesn't come to you right away. It's a new language. You can't learn a new language by going and having a consultation with someone for an hour. That's the beginning. You got to have a strategy. So if I can give somebody a strategy from the minute they wake up until they go to bed, and their mind says, I'm comfortable with it, that's great. But what if your mind says, I'm scared? We just lost it. We blew it. So I'm more interested in their emotional stability. And then you're saying to me today, how does fasting help the mind? How does it help the emotions? How does it help the disease in the body? Well, first of all, everything is about alignment. So the reality is how many people do you know, and we all know a lot of people, that if they missed one meal, Justin, they get a headache. Now, is that a physical problem or a psychological one? How about it's both? It's called a pinball reaction. The body says, I can't live without food. And you can believe this or not believe it, but Justin, I do a juice fast or a water fast every day. So, and about 3 days a week, I just do a blender drink of fresh organic berries and coconut milk and what's called black diamond humic fulvic powder in there. That's it. That's it. And maybe 1 or 2 raw eggs if I'm feeling I need to power up. So understand, everything's psychological before biological. That's it. That's science. And you got to understand something, Justin. Everything that you've ever eaten, everything that you've ever drank has left your body. The only thing that stayed behind was the energy, was the frequency, was the light that was embedded in the product. So what does that say? Well, that means we are light energy spirit beings. And the reality is that the invisible creates the physical. And the reality is that, yes, if I bring in a higher vibration frequency of something, it's going to kick out lower vibration. So what does that mean? Well, those would be toxins. So anything higher will kick out lower. And it's the same thing with beliefs. If I bring in a higher conscious thought, something more based on unconditional love, it's going to kick out the unconditional hate I have for myself, which most people do have a hate program going on for themselves because they're just not enough, which is another lie, because everybody has enough, but they can't reach it. So remember something, to actually be able to embrace true advanced water fasting, that has to happen. And you know what? And remember something, Justin, it's called repetition. If you do something and you don't, and you fail at it, you do it again. If you fail at it, you do it again. If you fail at it, do it again. Nobody dies from not eating. Nobody dies from water fasting, okay, especially advanced water fasting. They turn on their stem cells more than any other program in the world. They turn on autophagy more than anything ever in the world. And stem cells are the cells that are created in your body that are these beautiful cells that we will go and we will restore whatever's broken in the body, whether it's a brain tissue, liver tissue, a joint, or a tissue in your nose from inflammation and scar tissue formation. So those cells are very highly intelligent. And every time that we can unleash those cells, the younger we become, the younger we feel. And remember something, there is no such thing as getting old. I will get older in years, but I will be 66. And the reality is this, I can tell you right now, the rest of my family, they are old. Because they don't do what I do. They don't think like I think. So understand, what is really old age? Old age is a stiff joint. Old age is swelling. Old age is pain. Old age is inflammation. What if you didn't have any of those? What if you had flexibility? What if you didn't have scar tissue in your body, displaced calcium and calcium deposits? Well, that's called being youthful right until you decide to leave this planet. So you asked me who can do it. Well, first of all, if you've ever taken a look at my library, you'll see it's called the 6-Day Advanced Water Fasting Guide. And then I've got all kinds of videos in there. And understand something. Do you remember a gentleman by the name of Dr. Norman Walker? Do you know a gentleman by the name of Bernard Jensen? Okay, so all of these are really famous doctors, and they used to do water fasts. They did water fasts before GMOs. They did water fasts before 2G, 3G, 4G, and now 5G. They did water fasts before blue light. They did water fasts, okay, before chemtrails. They did water fast before chlorine, okay, and fluoride were being put into the water. They did water fasts before TV was totally programming everybody and making everybody think that all human beings are sexual deviants and everything else. So the reality is that was a whole different world. So remember something. When we take a look at this, 75 years ago, we were detoxifying just organic matter, okay, because we didn't poop enough. And yes, we did have dysfunctional beliefs, and those dysfunctional beliefs get embedded in your body. You need to know this, right from a pimple to a tumor, to a hip problem, to a knee problem. I can show you the emotional issue that's caught in the tissue and exactly what it is. It's in my book called The Whole Life, it's called The Perfect Day Lifestyle Guide, which everybody gets when they do a consult free. It's a 320-page manual. Understand, people need to be supported, Justin. That's why they fall off. They'll go to somebody, get a consult, cost them $350, $450, and then they'll take a big bag of supplements home and fall off within 3 or 4 weeks. Because willpower is not the key. Repetition and truth. Repetition and real truth. The real truth is that you need to become your own practitioner. You need to do your own research to verify and certify to your subconscious that said, this is a new belief and I'm not accepting it. And this belief could either kill you or it could heal you. It could kill you, my friend, or heal you. And your subconscious is going to shove both of those things away. You are only going to be as intelligent as the 5 people you hang around with. So that's why we have to go in. And so there's your answer about that. But to do a water fast today, then you've got to pick the right water. People used to do it with distilled water. And remember something, distilled water, its absorption level is terrible. If you do distilled water, that's man-made water. Reverse osmosis is the same. Your body has to take so much energy to digest that water because water is a food. If you take structured water in when you're doing a fast, you're going to up the chances of your fast because structured water goes into your cells 1,000% better than any other filtered water, ozone water, Kangen water, whatever water you want. And structured water is what? Rainwater. Oh yeah, but there could be chemtrails in it. Yeah, but it doesn't matter. Once it's structured, no toxin can hurt you in there because if I was lying, then why aren't the birds, the bees, the flowers, the trees, and the microorganisms dying from all the chemtrails and all the poisons in the water that comes down all the time? Why does everything jump up for joy? If the chemical, the poison, the heavy metal can still be in the water, but it will not affect the organism if it's structured. Thank God for that. So what we do is we structure every water that we have with a structured water unit. And that never wears out, never breaks down, doesn't take batteries, and it's natural. So everything we want to do is natural, and we want to move towards that. So water is the most important thing. Second thing is it's got to be warm and closer to hot because it opens things up. Did you ever try to clean your house with cold water? How's that work? Try to clean it with warm water. So we want to open everything up. We want to loosen things up, and especially in the morning when we wake up, we want to say, hello, body, I love you. Because we are a constricted society. We're all tight. We're tight everywhere, right? Okay, we're always, not always, but we're in a sympathetic state more than we are in a parasympathetic state, which means we're in the flight mode, which means we're always sending our blood supply to our arms and legs. Even if we don't get out of the chair, we're running away from the paper tiger because they know how to rule, fool, and school us with their BS, dysfunctional belief systems, because we've never mastered our minds. So who can do the fast? Well, those people that have learned to unconditional love for themselves and learn how to protect themselves from their family, from society systems. There's that answer.
Is intermittent fasting something that you recommend as a way to ease into getting into that state where one is more mentally, emotionally, psychologically, and spiritually ready for a water fast?
I will tell you this, and there's always a loaded question because I've been doing fasting since I was 19, and I'm 66. So here's the deal. You come to me and you are underweight, and I can tell you you're dehydrated and you're eating yourself from the inside out and you're losing your muscle tone. I would not do it. I would put you on smaller meals, and they would be whole plant-based diet when they would be loaded down with amino acids because we need to restore your muscles. And also I would put you on a product called IGF 300,000, which, and another one called SON formula. And I'm not trying to sell my products, but understand, people that are sick, people that are underweight, they're not losing weight, they're losing muscle. And it's because they have a terrorist mind, and the mind is burning more calories than are coming in, so the body has to feed off the muscles. So we have to reprogram that person to not be the terrorist because they're creating so much anxiety and they're burning their body up. So now, but most people that come to us are overweight. We already know that. We already know that right now that they're saying that 88% of the population is now overweight and 60% of the population is obese. So the reality is now we're dealing with a lot of fat cells, cellulite, and in those fat cells and cellulite you will find water to try to dilute the poisons, and you'll find the heavy metals, you'll find all the toxic waste from the GMOs, and the acids that were created. So those we can get right into it. We can go right into intermittent fasting. The other people that are underweight and having trouble sleeping at night, and those are the ones that we have to watch out for. And we've got to learn how to calm them down, bring them back, bring up their energy levels. And most of them think they have energy, but it's just anxiety, and they're stealing from their organs. So now with the overweight people, we can jump right into intermittent fasting easy. So, and I'm just saying that the other people are a rarity. They're like 1 out of 100, maybe 2 out of 100. So I just don't want to forget those people, because those people are actually in bigger trouble than the overweight person. So now with the overweight people, okay, they're actually not overweight, they're overwaste. They have so much waste in them. And that's because they overeat, and they also eat toxic things, because that's actually a self-hate program and they don't even know it. And it's not their fault, but it will be their responsibility to turn that around. And fasting does help that. When people go in and do an advanced water fast that we have, they will find themselves coming out, not just lightening the load on a physical, but on an emotional and every other level. Okay? Look at Jesus used to fast not because he was overweight. Jesus used to fast not because he had heavy metals. Jesus used to fast to enlighten himself, to clear himself out of the toxicity that the world was putting onto him. He wanted to be clear and fresh, and he wanted to be enlightened. He wanted to connect to what he would call his God, his source. So, you know, that's the bottom line. Today, it still does the same thing, but today we're actually having to do that. So this is why, Justin, I don't do advanced water fasts anymore. I am the advanced water fast. I do it every day. So every day, I might eat breakfast, honest to God, without lying, once every 6 weeks to 3 months. And that's only because it was an occasion thing, family got together. And then if I do, I'm going to take HCl, hydrochloric acid, to help to break down the protein and the bad food combining of protein and starches. And I'll take some enzymes too, so at the end of the meal, I'm not having a fart attack, okay? Because you just don't digest that stuff. You know, it's like this, and it's a sad state of affairs. But honestly, 95% of the population will be in pain and suffering for the last 15 years of their life. They will have a cane, a walker. Some will have a wheelchair. Some will be going to the nursing home because they can't wipe their own bum anymore. And this is all displacement of calcium. Because the more toxic you are, the more acidic you are, the more calcium you pull from your bones, the more it gets into where? Gallstones, kidney stones, calcium deposits in the breast, and stiff joints and a stiff brain. Okay? So that's there. Now, as far as advanced water fast, and well, as far as water fasting goes, it's going to be grueling. If you do any type of water fast, you better embrace the ultimate coffee enema. And if you don't, you could be in trouble. And the reality is this, is most people that embrace doing fasting, they know, they start to become alert to it. And most people are going to be around the age of what, 30, 40, 50, 60, right? Nobody wakes up that early, okay, because they're too programmed. So if you want to get the cork out, so if I was going to do an advanced water fast, or let's say just a water fast, because people don't have to buy into my belief system, but if I was going to do a fast, what would I want to do? Well, first of all, do you think it might be wise to just get on a whole plant-based diet where you're doing blender drinks with berries, and where you're doing like a natural lemonade, where you're doing 2 large salads a day, 2 blender drinks a day, and then maybe drinking about 3 to 4 to 5 quarts, depending on how heavy you are, of water. So if you're doing all of that, and you want to make sure that you're going to dump the load in your colon. So we always make sure that people are doing daily cleansing tea, and we have them doing something called black gold. Black gold's a humic fulvic that will go in and get rid of the heavy metals, get rid of the acidity, and the black gold actually goes into the large intestine, and it reestablishes mummy's bacteria. I do not believe in taking foreign bacteria. All the bacteria that people eat, you know, the good bacteria they buy, I don't believe it works. I believe it turns things down. But the reality is we have to target mummy's bacteria. The bacteria from your mother is the only immunity. It never comes out of a bottle. That's the end of it. So that the rest is BS. It's a dysfunctional belief system. I'm way down that road. So, but you can't just take the cork out of your butt and start getting rid of the waste there. You got to embrace what we call the ultimate coffee enema. If people want to see it, go to my do-it-yourself guide in my library. They can watch how to do it. But the reality is this: if you start purging your liver, you do know you can't detoxify the liver unless you're going to do a coffee enema. And that's the truth. You can do all the herbs from here, but look at where it's got to go. Down in here, process through the whole system, then go. Seriously? No. That's how we got to do it. So if we went on a perfect day diet, which people can go look in my library at, or go to the Advanced Water Fasting Guide, it's all in there, and they can watch the video. But if they did that for 2 weeks, that would be like trying to put WD-40 on these rusty hinges of this door. Should I just rip the damn door open, or should I just let the WD-40 sit there and the door just opens lovingly? So now if I've brought down the load physically and a little bit emotionally by doing intermittent fasting and by doing the perfect day diet, and also embracing things like clapping and belly button therapy and squatting, okay, and things of that nature, where I'm actually, what am I doing? Paying attention for the first time to my body. People don't pay attention to their body. They only pay attention to their body when they're in a 911 emergency. That's all a program too. There are no dumb people. There are dumb beliefs, and they're being instated into everyone. You know as well as I do, Justin, that we wouldn't be in this mess right now around the world if people couldn't be programmed easy. So let's just go back to our story. So see how we prepared? See how we prepared? So now I know that I brought my toxic load down, so that when I go to do this, and when people do an advanced water fast with me, I'll say it quickly because I don't want people to think I'm doing a sales pitch. We put them on what's called infinite iodine. Infinite iodine does not turn on your digestive tract. It feeds your thyroid. And infinite iodine is the only pure iodine in the world, and it disinfects any viral bacterial in 15 seconds. I've got the science. So what else do? We put them on what we call black diamond, which is the only, we have the only heavy metal-free humic fulvic in the world. And we can prove that too. I know I say a lot of things that are pretty cocky, but we can back it up. We have the only filtration in the world that does it. So they go on the black diamond, that goes actually into the bloodstream, crosses the blood-brain barrier, goes into their cells. And it will drop 70 micronutrients without turning on the digestive tract. And it will load itself up 600% of its weight in heavy metals and toxicity. But it locks it down. So now you don't have to experience those toxins coming out of your body. What else do? Put them on IGF-1, IGF-1, 300. You're going to love this one, buddy. And you really are. We are the only one with this product. This product is actually made from the hair of deer antlers. It is extracted lovingly. These are pets. Now, do you know how your body, how old are you?
50.
50. Well, guess what? You basically stop making human growth hormone at 30. And especially in the world today, that should have never happened. Did you know a man reaches his sexual potential at 30 now? He used to reach it at 55. Thank you to the world, because that's what the world's trying to do, right? We all know the game plan now. So, here's the deal. Human growth hormone, when you were younger, used to go into your liver. That used to make IGF-1. So now we know a way of doing it under the tongue, IGF-1 300. And when people do 14 drops of this 3 times a day, they feel like they're in their 20s and early 30s. And I'm not making this up. This is not a stimulant, it's a regenerant. So everybody wants to detoxify, but what if we could regenerate at the same time we're doing the fast, and then after we brought our toxic load down, we keep on taking this product daily? You would feel young until you leave this planet. And I'm telling you the truth. This product is used by most of the top athletes in the world and Olympians, and they don't tell anyone because guess what? The FDA told them they couldn't talk about it because this is not a drug, but they can take it. So anyway, so we have them doing that. And what else do we have them doing? Let me just think here for a second. Like I said, they'll be doing the coffee enemas. They'll be doing what we call belly button therapy. When you do this on your fast, guess what it does? When you put this in your belly button and you do the technique in my do-it-yourself guide in my library, it releases 70% of your dopamine and 50% of your serotonin. You have a 20 to 25% more stretch within 7 minutes. So that puts everybody into a relaxed state. The more relaxed state we stay in, the better we're going to be able to do it. And we also put people on this. We put them on either essential oil of lemon, orange, or called super cinnamon. Because super cinnamon balances blood sugar. And if they put these essential oils in, your digestive tract doesn't turn on. And you're telling your body that you just ate. And the vibration picks you up. So we got more energy. And all of these disinfect negative microbes. So that's what we want to keep on doing, is going in to support the body. And we also put them on this. Not everybody. You don't have to do any of these things. This one's a big one. Merigen. It's the only true calcium product in the world. This will actually replace anybody. You could get a person that's in their 80s and their bones look like Swiss cheese. And within 1 year, they'll have the bone structure of a healthy 40-year-old. So everything, remember something. Communication in the body is mainly done by what? Calcium ions. So what happens to people over the age of 30? They stop making calcium ions. Did you know that? Well, you need your growth hormones to do that. So we're being depleted of that. So this product here, this is actually invisible ions. When you drink them, they turn you on as if you're young again. So everything is about bringing you back to that vibrant, youthful state while you're doing an advanced water fast. So we need an advanced water fast means that guess what? I'm going to give you lots of energy through the fast, because what happens? Well, we know this. Okay, so when you do a fast, a water fast, 70% of the energy that went to digesting 3 meals a day is now going inward. When you hit your 3rd day, your digestive tract totally shuts down. When that happens, that's called hump day for most. They don't make it past the 3rd day. When you're doing this, we get to go past the 3rd day like this, instead of boom, hitting the wall. Now, what happens is your digestive tract turns off. Guess what turns on? Autophagy. So now your autophagy turns on, where it goes in and eats up anything that shouldn't have been in the human body. Right from cysts to tumors to scar tissue, you name it. And every time you release anything, whether it's a calcium deposit or scar tissue, you're turning back into connective tissue, or you're melting crystallization, you're releasing trapped emotion, negative emotion. Because the negative emotion actually creates the negative physical impairment. Okay, so now we've turned on autophagy, but at the same time we turned on stem cell making. Okay, so now you're making stem cells, and with advanced water fasting, we've proven that you are not making stem cells. Let's say what you make is stem cells when you just do the advanced water therapy, you make this much. Well, we proved that you make anywhere from 800 to 1,000% more stem cells when you use energy nutraceuticals to bring your energy up, but don't turn your digestive tract on. That's the key. You turn the digestive tract on, then you're taking that energy. So we want all energy to go where? Right to the mitochondria. So understand, the reason why we do water fasting, advanced water fasting is for what? It's to repair mitochondria. I don't care what autoimmune disease you're talking about. There's no autoimmune disease that isn't created. They're all created, I should say, from damaged mitochondria. Mitochondria are the powerhouses that are in your cells, and every cell has one. And wherever you have what you want to call a disease, there's no such thing as a disease. It's just a name to tell you where you're out of alignment. That's it. And it's also just a block. So understand, there's no disease without a block. Tell me one disease. They all have a block. So you remove the block, you don't have the disease. And it started on the emotional level before a physical level, and let's get back to the mitochondria. So what happens is, wherever there's a disease, there's mitochondrial damage. Where that is, there's the mitochondria became calcified. Where that is the mitochondria were supposed to spin 2,500 times per second. Do you get that? Now they're spinning only 300 to 500 times. And that's why now they can't make the ATP. That's why the person's sick in bed. They want to get well, but they can't get well because what does it take to get well? Energy. Now, if the mitochondria are damaged, how are you going to get the energy when we know that a 75 kilogram man has to make 85 kilograms of ATP a day to maintain their health? So that's why the sick will stay sick and not get well. But what if we could use energy medicine nutraceuticals or energy medicine equipment? So when I have somebody here and they come to do fasting and they hit a block, I use what's called a cell sonic on them. A cell sonic, are you ready for this? Puts out 25,000 volts. And it puts it through as a love harmonic. And I hit the area where the block is in the body. And I know you may not believe this, but cancer is an inflammation problem that is gone to its full degree, okay? Full degree. So arthritis and cancer are on the same alphabetic line. They're on the same line. This is just the baby of it. This is Big Daddy, okay? And remember something. Everything starts off at the emotional before the physical, right? So anybody that has cancer is running some really bad hate programs they don't even know about. They're not eating right. They're not thinking right. They're not drinking right. They're not loving themselves right. That's the deal. So now, let's get back to the mitochondria. So what this does, it shakes off the calcium, and it also puts in 25,000 volts. It puts in every known healthy, beneficial frequency into the cells. So right away it tells the cells, you're not sick. And right away you put the different frequency in it, and the inflammation is shut down instantly. So now if we can get that person to programmed, brainwashed, if I could brainwash that person to love themselves and to respect themselves and not down themselves and stop focusing on what's wrong in the world and wrong with themselves, but what they really truly want, and stick to that list. So we'd have them doing a lot of this. I got this. This is called a Braveheart Love Band. This is really big when you're doing fasting because you got to keep on repeating that you are beautiful. There's a new sheriff in town called Love. I don't need anybody's approval. Okay? I don't take things personal. I got this. My healing is already done. You know what? Everything was an invisible program that became a physical result. Whether you're talking about the house you built or the disease you created or the healing you created. So now if we can get those mitochondria spitting back to 2,500, the faster we do it, the more we make the ATP, the more we create the energy creates the healing, and everything is energy. How much energy does a dead person have, Justin? How much energy does a sick person have, Justin? How much energy does a healthy person have? That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Okay, what else?
Yeah. No, that's it. That's been absolutely brilliant. Thank you for your time.
Beautiful day, my friend. And
Okay.
enjoy Mexico, and come and see us sometime, okay?
Okay.
All right, let me know when you come, okay? All right? All right, and then we'll do a show here together. How's that?
Sounds good.
Okay. Have a
All right.
beautiful day, Justin.
Same to you.
Bless
Thank
you, my
so
friend,
much.
and thank you for the opportunity.
Bless you.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.
You know, it's not good enough to have the most powerful courses, treatments, and training. We want to deliver to you the adventure of a lifetime that's going to last a lifetime. And I'm going to take you on a little adventure right now and show you what we are going to deliver. What are we going to deliver? We are going to deliver the authentic you, the real you, the genius inside. How would you like to become not just the master of your mind, but the master of your body, the master of your life? You know what? The most important world is your world, and we're about to show you how to create it.
Found Dr. Wolf and all his positivity and trying to reshape our way of thinking and help me be a better person, a better mom, better wife. I'm glad I found him in person in Ixtapa, Mexico.
Never limit yourself to beautiful, because that's what you are. Take a look at this beautiful place. We all deserve beauty in our life. You need to create a new program that is unlimited when it comes to things that are beautiful, things that make you happy, things that make you shine, things that make you feel excited. Let's get excited.
This guy's got something really interesting to say and he's sharing it really openly and we're just really not caring what other people think, and I just thought that was really empowering.
What I've learned in my life is this: to be the change you wish to be the change you wish to see, Braveheart, you have to understand you take life one step at a time.
Dr. Wolf, as many people will have seen, is very direct and straight and will take you to the edge of the cliff, as he says, and then pull you back just in time.
Never lose your focus. Never lose your dream, because you are the dream maker. It's called image, but guess what? It's your imagination. The image that you hold creates the thought that you live with. That thought creates an emotion that creates a frequency, and we know that the invisible creates the physical. I mean, that's quite obvious. So be the power that you seek, and understand something, that all your thoughts matter. And guess what? Unless you're willing to take a look at those thoughts and retrain your brain, change your personality, you'll never change your reality, and your reality could become infinite.
He's a wealth of information, and I love it.
You were created by your creator to create. So let's create something amazing together.
I found Dr. Wolf and I went, wow, here's a truth speaker. And he spoke to my soul and he spoke truth.
So tell me what you think of the destination that I came up with my imagination to hold the full life coach certification for you.
Right here. Are we doing it
Understand
here?
something?
Yeah. Okay, then I'll just.
All about
But I'll do it. You
it's
guys
all
relax.
about
I'll
adventure.
grab
It's
it.
all
There's no
about
You guys
stimulating the mind.
You can help me when I get back, okay?
And
I just gotta go and get
understanding
my,
that your mind is unlimited.
my,
And that is
my
what the
shoes.
whole life coach certification is all about.
Because,
In the whole life coach certification,
there's
we are
something
going to
I'm
go deeper. We have people coming to us, professionals coming to us, from doctors to nurses to accountants to oil riggers to mothers that want to expand their life. And when they come here, they go, I need to learn to help my family, or I want to improve my business. But guess what? We get into their business. When they leave,
Don't forget, we've got to
they
have a
become
meeting
the change that they wish to
sometime
see, that they
here
wish to
and
be.
start
They
strategizing.
become
I will
the
be
gift
gone
to
for
the
1
world,
week,
because when you
and then I
can
want
stay
you
in
to
the
just go and
present,
get your
you can't do
genius.
that until you
What
have
are you doing?
unconditional love and care for yourself.
What are you-
And I'll tell you
what are you
something right now. I have hardly even found 1 out of 1,000 practitioners or even so-called whole life coaches that can hold the present moment and own it and then give it as a gift. And this is what I'm going to give to you. And when you come here, this is where you're going to come into this room when you need to find alignment, you need to find balance, and you need to get back into your lion heart breath, because we're going to go deep into your heart.
You know, Dad, you need to
And
put
we're
my
going to
clothes
become
back where you
the
find
spark
them,
that
okay?
we seek.
And actually what I really love about Dr. Wolf's teaching is the
Hello, hello. Hey, hey.
Hey,
and then you're like,
you should be so relieved that you don't have my way.
so, but it's really not.
Come play, come stay,
Hello, hello.
come train
Test
with us today.
audio.
Understand
Hey,
something.
hey. 1, 2.
Awesome.
I know we have fear.
Hello, hello.
But understand, that's just false evidence.
Hello, hello.
Dip your toe in, feel the water, but then I want you to dive right in because
He really teaches you to go within and
Hey, hey.
your heart and not your mind.
Hey, it's good. It's good the fun. Is it good the sound?
Connected. So much
Perfect.
more than your mind.
But I want you to get in touch with that right now.
Here is
Get rid of that one.
here is good the sound.
that you've been looking
Just
for.
have that one. Tell them to redo
Let
that
me
slide.
teach you
Go
how to
through the
fly.
slide,
What does that mean?
which ones to do, and get it
First,
back to you for
love
Monday.
yourself, Braveheart. Let's take life in and win.
I had just lost my husband a couple of years ago. With his passing, he gave me the greatest gift to love myself. But Dr. Wolf gave me the greatest gift in understanding that.
I had a dream 3 years ago that I would live in Mexico and I would have this training center, this teaching center, this treatment center that would touch the world. Your dreams are never too big. And when they start to create a little bit of anxiety, turn them into excitement. And get excited, because this is your life.
He's the first person, doctor, that I have encountered that has truly given me the truth, and not just half truths, but the full truth. So it's been revolutionary for me in my healing process.
And this, my friend, when you take on the dream of all dreams, and you realize that if you stay connected to your breath, that you can have it all. Do not let anybody take your breath away. Do not let anybody steal your dream, okay?